When life gives you lemons, add lavender, a little bit of Empress Gin, and make yourself one of the best summer cocktails you probably didn't know about. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the Elixir Lounge. I'm Zach, and I hope that you guys have been enjoying the last few episodes that we've been doing. We're gonna be switching gears from our coffee-based cocktails to something that's considered to be a sour type cocktail. So you guys grab a seat at the bar, get comfortable, and let's create some magic. One pour, one stir, and one sip at a time. All right, so kicking off our sour cocktails, we're gonna be doing one that's one of our most popular ones. It's called the Parisian Empress. Now this one is really nice because the flavor profile, it's gonna have some citrus, it's gonna be bright, but it's also gonna be very refreshing. This one specifically is gonna have a little bit of a lavender note to it, which is super, super nice. So this one here we make with our Empress 1908, the Butterfly Pea Gin. Now, even though it has butterfly pea in it that gives it a really nice purple color, it's not gonna affect the actual taste of the gin. There's some other products that Empress 1908 has that has a different color that actually change the taste of the gin. But this one here is just the color. It's still gonna taste like a very traditional botanical type of gin. Now, we use our black lavender syrup that we make here. The reason why we call it black lavender is because we make a simple syrup. We add lavender pods to it and we let them steep in there for a couple of hours. But then we also add peppercorns in there. And the reason why we do that is because lavender is very potent and it can easily turn into a syrup that tastes soapy or almost like you're drinking cologne. And so the peppercorns really tone that down, but still let the lavender flavor shine without it being overly floral. And so we use this syrup for some of our coffees, a handful of our cocktails. It's just really, really nice. It gives you just a hint of lavender without being overpowering. We're also gonna be using what's called Aquafaba. Now, Aquafaba is gonna be essentially just chickpea juice. Now you might ask, why are you using chickpea juice in a drink? Well, traditionally, we wanna get a really nice mouthfeel and a really nice frothy texture for the drink. And traditionally, you would use an egg white. Now, some people don't like egg whites. I don't necessarily like using egg whites because from time to time it can have kind of a funky kind of smell to it, a funky aftertaste. Aquafaba to me works a little bit better. To me, it froths even just a little bit better than an egg white would, but it's also good for people that perhaps don't want a raw egg cracked into their cocktail. And then lastly, we're gonna use two more ingredients. We're gonna use our simple syrup, and this is gonna be just a traditional rich simple syrup. It's gonna be a 2-to-1 ratio from sugar to water. And then we're gonna use what we really like as our citrus base. It's gonna be yuzu juice. If you don't know what yuzu juice is, or what yuzu is, it's a Japanese fruit. It's kind of a mix between a lemon and a lime to where it doesn't have too much of either side. And it's also not as tart. It's still very citrusy, but a little bit more toned down. And so we like using this because it lets some of the other flavors shine and it doesn't make it overly sour. Without further ado, let's get it going. So this recipe here calls for 1.5 ounces of our gin, and we're gonna make this in a shaker. So 1.5 ounces. And this is gonna give it a really, really nice purple color. It's a very, very pretty drink. We're gonna do 1/2 ounce of our lavender syrup. And as I was mentioning earlier, the cool thing about sours is that you can play around with the sugar aspects, the citrus aspects. And so for us, the sugar aspect that we're playing with is gonna be this black lavender and then adding just a little bit more simple syrup. The reason why I don't add a full ounce of the black lavender is because I don't want it to be overly lavender and overly floral because we have a gin that's already floral. And so this kind of helps to balance it out a little bit. And so we did 1/2 ounce of our simple syrup. We're gonna do a full ounce of our yuzu juice. Yuzu juice, it's kind of hard to find, but you can usually find it at some of the Asian stores in town, the Asian markets. And then lastly, we're gonna use our Aquafaba. Now, when you use Aquafaba, you have to use kind of an extra step to really get the frothiness. I like to shake with ice first and then strain it back in here and do a reverse dry shake is what it's called. And I find that that brings out just a little bit more foam. All right, so we're gonna shake with ice first. And then we're gonna strain it out. And shake it one more time without ice. I find that this gives you the maximum amount of froth, a really nice mouthfeel. All right, we're gonna pour this into a martini glass. Always make sure your martini glass is chilled. And you're gonna see how frothy this gets. Really, really nice. And then I like to garnish it with a dehydrated orange that we dehydrate here in-house. It gives a really nice contrast to the white layer of foam on top. And as you can see, it's got a small, like, purple kind of hue to it. And here we have the Parisian Empress. Give it a taste. Very, very refreshing. You taste the lavender, but it's not overpowering. Like, it's there, you know that it's there, but it doesn't really steal the show. You still taste a little bit of the gin. The citrus is really, really nice. I mean, this is a very, very refreshing drink. I mean, it goes down so easy. It's really, really nice. Definitely understand why it's one of our most popular ones. Some good stuff. If you find yourself in the Woodlands, Texas, come and try it out here at Galindo's Coffee and Elixirs, or give it a shot at home and let me know what you guys think. So thanks again for watching the Elixir Lounge, and we'll see you guys next time.